Right, Steve Hilton joins us now. Steve, you heard my take. I say the Democrats are seizing the moment. Do you think this hurts Republicans in 2024?
The chaos in Congress, it definitely does, and they need to get on with it and clean things up. And you're completely right. One of the oldest rules I remember in my time working on political campaigns is the best thing that you can do is control the agenda. Make sure that what everybody's talking about is an issue that is good for you and bad for the other side. So all the time that we're talking about the chaos at the border or what's going on with inflation and gas prices and so on, that's bad for Biden, good for Republicans. But if the news agenda is completely dominated by Republican infighting in Congress, that takes all that stuff off the agenda and is bad for Republicans. And one more point, I just totally agree with you about this border wall announcement. I was in the same position. My wife actually said this. She showed me the news last night. She said, they're building the wall. I said, that's fake news. Can't be real. Yes. They wouldn't just announce that, especially on the day that they're trying to get student loans on the news. And do you know what was interesting? They didn't actually announce it because they're actually embarrassed and ashamed about it. They slipped it out in this small announcement in the Federal Register or whatever it was. They didn't make a big press conference about it at the White House. They know how humiliating it is, exactly because of the clip that you just played. And the real point here is that walls end up, it seems, not being racist when the consequences of their disastrous border policies start to affect Democrats in the cities that they run, where you are in New York, Stuart.
That's very true. Jim Jordan, Steve Scalise, they have both announced bids to be the next speaker. Biden was asked if he had any advice for the next speaker. Steve, watch this. Roll it.
Not that they're asking you, what's your advice to the next House Speaker?
That's above my pay grade.
It's come to this, Steve. The president is laughing at Republicans, and he's so vulnerable himself, but he seizes that moment. What do you say?
Exactly. Exactly right. It's exactly what we were talking about earlier. This is an own goal, completely self-inflicted wound. I'm not certain that it will last all. The people are saying, well, this will affect the elections in November 2024. That's a long way away. And so I think a lot can happen between now and then. But the Republicans do have to get their act together. I mean, everything that's there to be said about this has already been said. I don't think I have anything to add other than the country needs a strong opposition party in that chamber that's controlled by the Republicans with that very small margin, because we've got to have someone standing up against the disaster of these policies on every single issue. This administration and the Democrats in Congress, in the Senate, where they still have control, are just destroying the foundations of prosperity and security in our country. You look what's going on in our cities, on the streets, with our economy. Everywhere you look, it's a disaster. We've got to have a strong, united Republican opposition.
Democrats are good at politics. Republicans are not. Steve Hilton, we'll see you again soon. Thanks a lot, man.